Hi folks, welcome to the Prepared Homestead. This is Travis. Thank you all for stopping by to watch. Well, ended up being a pretty beautiful day here. There were some spraying in the sky. But other than that, it was a really nice day. Warmed up quite a bit when that sun was out. It was in the low 60s and felt pretty good for this kind of midway through December. So this drone story, there's a whole lot to this to unpackage, and I don't know that that's going to be the whole video. We will see if I talk about other things. I want to one thing, and I'm not an expert necessarily in this field. I have common sense though. I'm capable of reading, and I've read several other actual experts and their opinions on this new conspiracy theory that's being spread around. And the one is that these drones are out there sniffing for radiological waste or missing some type of nuclear material. And there was a report about 3 weeks ago or so, 2 or 3 weeks ago in New Jersey, that a piece of nuclear radiological material came up missing. And everyone is jumping on it. Even some pretty big names online are saying that this is what it must be. This is what it must be. And again, I want to reiterate, I'm not an expert, but I'm pretty sure that that's not what's going on. Number one, according to witness statements, we're talking a lot of drones. 50, 60 of them coming up out of the ocean or from the ocean area. There's reports of them all over the United States, Ohio and California and Washington and Arizona and Pennsylvania and New York and Maryland, a few other places. They're all over. So that's the first thing. This would be a very dramatic, major search. If that were the case, meaning that, some type of actual nuclear warhead came up missing. The second thing that makes me think that this theory is bunk is what is actually missing. The website that's being shared around, the screenshot from the website, if you go to that website, there's a long list of these types of things that come up missing every year, every month, sometimes every week, all across the United States. You see, it's required by law anytime any type of medical radiological material comes up missing, they have to report it. And it's used a lot. It's used a lot in, x-rays and CT scans and PET scans and things like that. And a lot of times it's just a tiny amount. And, because how things are in the hospital or whatever, maybe it went missing and it accidentally got thrown in the trash or whatever, and they have to report that. The amount of material that went missing is virtually not harmful at all. You would have to ingest it for it to be somewhat harmful. You could wrap it up in a linen cloth and put it under your pillow for about a week, and you might get about the same level of radiation as if you just went and had an x-ray or a CT scan. One CT scan, one x-ray. It's a very tiny amount. It's not dangerous. Could you make a dirty bomb out of it? Yeah, technically, but it would not be a very effective one, maybe psychologically, but it wouldn't do much damage. So I don't think that all of this dramatic show is for that one thing, when if you look at the records, these types of little pins, they come up missing often. It's just, they just accidentally get thrown in the trash or something like that. It's not really a big deal. In fact, one guy was reading that works in professionally, he has a doctorate degree working specifically in nuclear and radiological substances, and he said that some watches, the hour band, the glow in the dark stuff, it has more radiological signature than what you would get off of this item that's missing. So I don't think that's it either. The White House came out today and said that, well, these drones are flying legally and lawfully. That's it. that they're flying legally and lawfully. Donald Trump was questioned today, and he said that, of course, the White House needs to come clean with what's going on. He said he's very confident that they know exactly what these are. And when he was asked directly if he had been read in and been briefed on what these things are and what's going on, he said, I can't comment on that. Which, if he didn't know at all, if the answer was no, then he should just say no. If the answer is no and he didn't say no, then that's kind of disingenuous. So I suspect that he has been read in and he knows, and he's just not saying because he can't. He's not technically the president yet, so he cannot declassify things and speak. He would be in trouble legally if he did. So I kind of think, still, like I said, I think it's a PsyOp. I think it's a distraction. But I also think that there's probably some purpose. I don't believe exactly that they're sniffing out stuff. Because if they, number one, while it's possible, certainly, to use drones to sniff this stuff out, most of the time it's done at a ground level. They wouldn't be covering such massive areas, numerous states. That wouldn't make sense either. I suspect that there's more to it. There's partly the fear of it. There's the little PsyOp to get everyone all worked up, so that, and when I say that, I think that they're purposely being overly dramatic. Okay, I know that there are a few other minor possibilities, and a lot of people are still holding out that this is going to be some precursor to an alien invasion, some Project Blue Beam stuff. That's a possibility, I think. But I think the bigger possibility, the most likely, it's kind of like tests, when you take a test and you have 4 multiple choice answers and they're all kind of right, but you have to choose the most right. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm doing. Probably the most right answer is that this is an overly dramatic show of force to get everyone terrified, kind of like what happened with COVID, so that then they can come in and say, oh, we've got to go to war against Russia, we've got to go to war against Iran, or whatever it is. And the reason is because this such and such thing has happened, and that's why we've been flying all these drones, because there's an immediate threat to the president or to the president-elect or to a military base, and so that's why we didn't want to tell everyone, but that's why we've been flying all these drones to try to track everything, and now it's gotten worse, so we have to go and attack them. I'm leaning to that being the most likely possibility. Could be completely wrong. I mean, I'm just a lay person making a wild guess. It could also be a distraction for the H5N1. I'm not thinking that that's probably it, but it's possible. That's really picking up speed a lot. A lot of states that are having it. It's almost daily now that it's being reported that this person has it, and this person has it, and this herd has it, and this animal died because of it. So that's becoming a bigger thing. The whole tension with Iran now because of Syria, Israel going in and just dropping some massive ordnance in Syria. Did you see that one? I mean, it looked like a small nuke went off. Actually registered 3.0 on the Richter scale. The bomb was such a big deal. I mean, there's that kind of stuff going on. There's definitely an upset behind the scenes. You've got Germany. They just voted and lost confidence in their current government, and so that government's going to probably be overturned. France has gone through this. Italy, several of these European countries. Justin Trudeau today said that he is considering stepping down, resigning, because it looks like that his liberal government is collapsing there. So there's a big overturning effect globally, and in some instances, it looks like that's a good thing. Donald Trump won here. And a lot of people are saying this is great. This is a conservative revolution that's happening. And it's possible that that's true. But I think it's just, man, I'm almost tired of saying this because I'm tired of the hate mail. But I've said for a long time that this far crazy, radically left liberal stuff that's being pushed was not the agenda. That was being done to irate people so much that they would rubber band back to the other side and accept willingly whatever was presented to them that seemed to be the opposite of this far radical left stuff. I don't know if that makes any sense. And so I believe that's what we're seeing happening, that the real agenda is this, I hate to use this term, but it's very fascist. It's just as equally controlling, but in a different way. It's this false peace, this false light, this false hope. And there's more and more people saying that whether or not Donald Trump would be this person, it's quite clear looking at polling numbers that Donald Trump could push through just about anything right now, and a big majority of the American people would accept it, whether it's good or bad. And that's a scary place for us to be. And that kind of, it looks like that's what's happening in many other countries too. That people are so sick and tired of this radically far left that they're springboarding back to something else that looks good, but is probably just as nefarious, but just in a different way. And so I think overall, this drone stuff, this kind of upheaval in world politics is just, it's part of this plan to disrupt everything, to get everything in fear, to get everything in collapse mode, right at the time that they switch over to something new. I know that's not a really good explanation. I know that's not a really solid possibility of what's happening. But I think overall, bigger picture, that's probably the more likely. If there's even a sliver of truth to what I'm saying, then the overall outcome is probably way worse than some of the immediate threats, whether it be nuclear war or just World War III. It really means something biblical level of change is happening. You know, end time biblical level of change is happening, is very possibly what we're seeing. And so if there's any possibility that that's happening, you need to very seriously get yourself ready. I think in the coming days and weeks, the amount of just chaotic change, confusion, fear, up and down, meaning, you know, it seems like everything's great and wonderful and now it's all collapsing. And then it seems it's great and wonderful and now it's collapsing. It's probably going to look like a cryptocurrency chart, up, down, up, down, up, down. And I think that's for purpose. And so we need to get ready for that. You need to be mentally gearing yourselves up for what you're going to see. There's going to be a lot of fake stuff out there. There's going to be a lot of things that's going to try to capture you in and like, oh, that's what it is, when in fact it's not. Pray for discernment. Keep your eyes open. Keep your head on a swivel and keep getting yourselves prepared. It's time to get your houses in order and prepare yourselves mentally, physically, and spiritually. Thanks for watching. Catch you in the next video.